Today we're going to work on CodeCheck Python Exercises, the assignment for week 1, simple programs, algorithms. I'll go full screen. Observe this sequence of statements and update the output column with what the program will print as each statement executes. So we're just tracing this code and trying to understand what it does. So they're print statements. First, we'll click Start. Print high. The output should just be high. You might be tempted to put quotes around this like this, but that's not needed because those are just to denote a string literal rather than a variable here in the code. So hit enter. Print there. Print 39 plus 3. Here we're doing number literals, so this Python should simplify this expression to the value 42, and it does. And here you might be tempted to put 42 again, but actually we want the literal string value of 39 plus 3, all of those characters, like this, 39 plus 3. And then here we have two things being passed to the print statement, x equals and then 7 plus 2. So we'll have x equals, and then instead of 7 plus 2, we'll simplify this expression because there are no quotes around them to 9, except we have a space there, and you might think there's no space here, but there actually is a space here because in Python when you pass two arguments, so here's 1 and then 2, to the print statement, it adds a space automatically. Next, for each of the code fragments below, correct the error or type OK if there is no error. Press Start. Print high. This looks like there is no error. Print high. This one looks like there's almost no error, but there needs to be a closing double quote right there. Pint high. This is just a misspelling of print. Print high with capital P. Python is expecting that keyword with a lowercase p, print, like that. Print 30 over 2, that looks okay to me. Print 30 over 0 in quotes. That's not going to divide those numbers, and division by 0 is not allowed, but this isn't going to actually do any division because it's in quotes. And regardless, this code looks valid either way. Print result equals 17. This looks really similar to the thing on the last question, except there's a missing comma right here. And whether or not there's a space after that comma doesn't matter because this is code and not a string. If it were here, this space would matter. This one doesn't matter because it's code, and Python will allow you to have that space or not have it to your preference. For each of the following, indicate whether the given action would result in a compile time or a runtime error. So Python doesn't really compile, it's interpreted, but I think compile time here refers to interpretation time. Or can Python know when it reads your code whether there's an issue with it, or is it only when real inputs come through that something breaks? So omitting the double quote characters around hello world from the hello.py program. Well, if you're omitting these, this will try to be interpreted as code, which will be invalid, so that would fail at compile time. Text within a program that is not enclosed within quotes is treated as a command. Hello world would be unknown command that is detected at compile time. Change the parentheses used with the print function to curly braces. This would not be allowed. This would also be a compile time. The syntax requires a pair of parentheses following the print function. Invalid syntax is detected at compile time. When a program crashes or quits spontaneously or hangs, fails to respond to your input. This is your input is happening at the runtime of the program, not the development time. So I would pick runtime. The program compiles correctly, but a logic error occurs when the program is executed, resulting in a runtime error. Omit the hash symbol that indicates a comment from the first line of the hello.py program. So if we have a hash, this means we can add comments to our code, documentation for us and AI and future developers. But if we omit that, it's just going to try to be interpreted as code. And that's a compile time error. As with omitting quotes, the words of the comment will be treated as a comment. I think this means as code because they're not valid commands. A syntax error would be detected. Yep. 4. The following program, I need to reset this because I had to re-record this. The following program is supposed to print the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. But it contains 2 syntax errors and a logic error. Fix the errors so the program produces the correct output. Okay, so we have first, down came the rain stands out as being not wrapped in double quotes. So I'm going to highlight that and then shift quote to wrap it in double quotes. That way I don't have to type one double quote here and type one there. Print here, Python is sensitive to spacing and indentation, so this space here can't be there. And then everything looks pretty much right, except we're going to get it wrong because itsy bitsy spider is on its own line, whereas it really should be on the same line as the next phrase. So we'll backspace, delete this, whoops, delete this, and have this all be on one line. And now it's correct. Fred's Finest Furniture has a We Pay the Sales Tax sale, but Fred doesn't plan to actually pay the sales tax himself, so he has devised the following algorithm to adjust the prices of the items that he sells. Follow the algorithm and update the values in the columns as indicated. You'll probably need a calculator to follow along. Press start to begin. The original price is equal to $9.95. So original price, the value is going to be updated to $9.95. Tax rate equals 6, so we're setting the tax rate to be 6. Tax equals original price times tax rate over 100. So 995 times tax rate, which is 6, divided by 100. So 6 over 100 is 6% or 0.06. So I'm going to multiply 0.06 on my calculator times 995 and get 59.7. 59.7. Price equals original price plus tax. So price is going to be 59.7 plus, or original price 995 plus tax, which is 59.7. So add to that stored value in my calculator 995 and get 1054.7. 1054.7. Round the price to the nearest dollar. 1055. Last 2 digits of price. Last 2 equals last 2 digits of price. 55 is the last 2 digits of the price. If last 2 is greater than 95, select the next line to be executed. So it's not greater than 95, so we're not going to select this inside the if statement. We're going to go to here, change the last 2 digits. And there, change them to 95, so instead of 1055, it's going to be 1095. And notice that this was described as an algorithm. So this is a way to solve a problem. We're describing the steps to solve the problem. It looks kind of like code, but it's actually pseudocode because this isn't valid Python or any other language. It's just describing some of the steps in Python-like code, but then it's also describing some of them in just kind of natural English. Add 100 to the price. That's just a description of how to solve the problem. So an algorithm is the process of how to solve a particular problem, whereas the code for an algorithm can be written in any language. This isn't actually code, this is just the algorithm to solve this type of problem.